Mallory, Cracker Barrel is making them crackers crash out. We're going to talk all about some brands today. I am Maggie Gelson Burnett.
And I'm Mallory Hagan. This is Pretty Furious. Okay, Maggie, are you alive?
For fuck's sake, I literally can't. Okay, so if you want to see my super swollen ear, this ear is literally Shrek, and then look at like my teeny tiny little
They're
ear.
very red. For those who aren't watching, her ears are red. Poor Maggie, her first month of her 30s has just been horrendous.
Awful, absolutely awful. Yeah, I've been sick for oh my God, did you yeah. Yeah, I've been sick for
You're
like
getting
a
a
month.
sick vocal fry. That's good.
It's terrible. I had the flu, sinus infection, and now it has transitioned to an ear infection. An ear infection so bad that I left a 1-star review for a hospital system, which I have literally never done in my I have had some pretty shitty doctors, and I've never ever felt inclined to leave a bad review, but OSF Healthcare in Peoria can get so bent. But we are on the mend. We are on the up and up. I got some eardrops. I'm on an antibiotic. I have taken more ibuprofen and more Tylenol in the last 48 hours than I have ever taken in my
You're
entire
gonna have
life.
to do like a liver
Fully. My
cleanse.
liver is like, help me. So
You're like, alcohol binges got nothing on the level
fully.
of
I went
ibuprofen
to
I've
school
had.
at the University of Alabama. We're fine. My liver is really strong.
You've had a lot of practice.
But yeah, so that's super lit.
Yeah, outside of third trimester things creeping up on me, I have it covered up right now because I did get medicine and the swelling is going down, but I have a fever blister that comes up on my eye. And I started getting it when I was a teenager, but it's like so gross. It's gross and it hurts and it itches and it swells and it turns like the color of the shirt red. It's just,
Oh
anyway,
my
so
God.
mine popped up the other day and you have an ear infection and I was like, we're just falling apart. Meanwhile, go back and listen to our episode about how great your 30s are, where we were totally serious.
I'm
At
just
least I
taking
was.
this
I was like, your
as
30s are great. And
I
then we're
really
falling
am
apart.
just taking this as like first month gonna be a little crazy, and then after that it's gonna be like the best ride of your life. So
Smooth
that's what I'm
sailing.
really trying to stay positive.
Well, you know what's funny? Actually, my product is perfect for my ailment this
Gore.
or this week rather. So we can't be pretty furious without being pretty first. And I'm gonna go first. I brought a product that we were talking about in our last episode last week before Heidi came on. I was trying to share some things that I use outside of actual makeup and products because I'm running out of things to share, you all. But this product is one that I actually use every single day and I love. And if you're not using these little individual makeup remover wipes, I know a lot of people use the ones that are like a full size washcloth.
Gotta burp, folks.
I know a lot of people use the ones that are like full size washcloths. However, these little ones are perfect. I use them with my micellar water or just regular water. And then I keep this little bag next to my sink and all of them go in here and then they get washed in the laundry all together.
Do you see my little bag hanging there?
Oh, is that yours?
I
Look
have
at
the
that.
exact same ones.
Yeah, it's like a little laundry bag for your makeup wipe things. But I love these. They're super, super easy to find on any given website, Amazon, all that kind of stuff. So that's my product this week. What about you?
I love it. So I brought a product, two products actually, but I'm gonna give kind of a little like mini tutorial on this. So something that I think a lot of people are getting used to is not using like foundation, right? Like a lot of people are sort of moving to like skin tints or tinted sunscreen or whatever it is. So
I think there's a lot of people are the people who are getting.
well, and I will say that I totally love that. I respect that. I use a skin tint all the time. But a
Making a
lot
you're
of
getting older
people
joke. That's it.
well, yes. And a lot of people may have foundations that they want to use, but they're like, they're really like cakey or they're just like heavy, whatever. So I'm going to show you people a little something. So this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is a great foundation. This is a liquid foundation. And then this is the Ilia, the base face milk. A good alternative for this, if you don't want to spend the money on this, is the Ioma Milky Toner.
Mhm.
which I believe I've shared on here before. Now, when you are putting on foundation, you put a couple of pumps of this on your hand, and then you mix a couple of drops of the toner, and then you mix it on the back of your hand, and then you can rub it on like it's a skin tint. And basically, what it does is it combines some skincare into your foundation, so it makes it not as heavy, not as cakey, it keeps you hydrated, and also it helps to thin out the product so then it's not as like dense on the skin.
On the skin.
This is a little technique that Hailey Bieber allegedly uses. I don't know. She does it with her Rhode like milky toner, but I've been using that Ilia stuff and I love it. And then the Bioma is also really good. And you can get that at Target or at Ulta. But speaking of Target, we're going to talk a little bit about brands today. So anyway, yeah, those
Yes.
are my couple of products.
I'm gonna have to try that because I use House Labs foundation, and I'm kind of in that space right now where, especially in the summertime when my skin has color on it already, I'm like, this is kind of a lot. The thickness of a foundation
Mhm. Yeah,
could
totally.
also be my application method. Could also be that I'm a lazy girl and I just like slather it on and move on with my day. Could be anyway.
But I am telling you, the key, like the secret to really good foundation on your skin, to like making your foundation look flawless, is to use your hands. Like a lot of people are like, you have to use a brush, you have to use a beauty blender. Nah, girl, rub that shit in with your hands.
I agree with you. However, the sensation of the I can't.
You're like, I have a sensory issue
Yeah, the
here.
sensory of the then I have to wash it, and then there's like oil on my fingers from the fountain. Anyway,
What we're gonna do eventually is make an entire compilation video that Mallory's gonna take to a doctor and say, all of these things are why I have ADHD.
I only wear Comfort Colors t-shirts. I only like this.
Fully. I can't function without coffee. Coffee relaxes me.
Okay, I'm feeling called out. We're gonna move on. What headline has made you pretty furious this week?
Yeah, I've got a banger one. Hang on. I'm going to pull it up here. So, we are going to talk a lot about brands on this episode today. So, I thought this was fitting. But this says Walmart, this is from NPR, by the way. This one says Walmart says tariff costs are rising, quote, each week and will continue. And basically, they're, discussing how the tariffs of up to 145% on Chinese imports, Walmart is saying that will, quote, lead to higher prices. And to which I say, fucking obviously, Walmart. And I find that incredibly, there's so much like cognitive dissonance that's involved with like MAGA and Trump supporters. We know this already. We've discussed this at length. But I think one of the most fascinating things about all of this is that these corporations who are very obviously backing Trump, backing Republicans, conservatives, likely going to see the biggest hit from a lot of this because so much of their customer base is lower income. So I think Walmart obviously being no exception to that, maybe being the biggest proponent of these tariffs will be Walmart. And yeah, I think it's like hilarious that they're now like, oh yeah, by the way, these tariffs are gonna like, make our prices higher. It's like, yeah, obviously, no shit. And we told y'all that. So
Well,
once again,
part of me is like, obviously, they're putting out this level of PR to forewarn their
exactly,
customer
yeah.
base. But also, Walmart is, I mean, as we have these conversations about reducing government waste and SNAP and spending, they are the largest company that our government subsidizes besides maybe Elon Musk's.
Yep, literally. Yep.
Half the reason that we're in this mess all the way around is because we are subsidizing the people who work at Walmart. So not only will you pay higher prices because you voted for Donald Trump and his tariff game that he's playing is going to impact you, but also, just so you know, if you don't like that you pay for other people to eat, then you should also be concerned about that element of things with Walmart.
Yeah. I would be curious too to know what percentage of people who are on SNAP benefits shop at Walmart. Like that is another thing that really interests me about this conversation is like,
The
yeah, yeah, just like, yeah, the people who voted for Trump who also require, some kind of government assistance for food who also shop at Walmart, like it's all a circle. So anyway, yeah, that's my headline. What about yours?
Man. Well, my headline is less of a concrete headline and more of just I'm hoping that this isn't as glossed over as it seems to have been, which is I know we all know that Donald Trump met with Vladimir Putin in Alaska, but the thing that really has me furious and should have any person who cares about our military, claims to care about our military, has served in the military, any of those things. The United States military, men and women, were on their hands and knees at the tarmac in Alaska. I'll put up a picture when we edit this. We're at the tarmac in Alaska on their hands and knees laying out that red carpet.
Oh, that's right. The fucking red carpet.
The red carpet in and of itself for a murderous dictator is a problem, and it should be a problem for every person. And the PR tour that JD Vance is on right now for Vladimir Putin, saying like, "Oh, he's really not that bad of a guy. He's actually kind of soft-spoken." I think the media has painted him a certain way. I don't know if you've seen the clips of this, but JD Vance is on an apology tour for Vladimir Putin, so I don't know which version of the upside down we live in right now. But yeah, the United States rolled out the red carpet for a murderous dictator, and not only did they roll out the red carpet, they had the United States military men and women in uniform on their hands and knees for Russia. And that has made me pretty furious this week. And it's also made me furious because, instead of drinking out of a fire hose, these days we're just like the ocean is hitting us with a tsunami of news all day long. So by the time, Saturday rolled around, everyone had forgotten about what happened on Friday with Trump and Putin. All that to say, our military being on their hands and knees, rolling out a red carpet for a dictator is absolutely insane.
Wasn't there something also about how Putin spoke first on US soil?
Mm-hmm.
And like, how in the fuck are we even? It really is so nuts to me that the
And
people
meanwhile, the
who,
rest of the world leaders had to join Zelensky at the White House to make sure that, yeah.
yep. What's crazy is like the going back to just sort of like this cognitive dissonance of like people who, kind of harp on like American exceptionalism and are the ones who are predominantly like MAGA voters and conservatives who are like, America, rah, rah, rah. Whereas like, more progressive people understand that America is, was founded on a lot of really troubling principles. And like, we continue to operate on a lot of very troubling principles, but we do have a vision of it being better. How they are like, yeah, we're going to let this dictator come on over, roll out a red carpet for him with our servicemen and women doing it, and then let him speak first on US soil. Like that is, yeah, I don't know what mental hoops you got to jump through to get to that being okay with you, but that's not my fucking business, I guess.
It's funny that you brought up people outside of the US kind of having a different view of our level of
Thinking
exceptional.
we're fucking idiots.
And while I was putting on mascara, of course, my TikTok is rolling in the background, and I come across this video of it was like a man on the street interview of people in Europe, and I don't know where, I don't remember what country they were in, but they were asking people, would you move to the United States in 2025? And every single response was like, the United States? No. They were all like,
Absolutely not.
no, no, thank you. One girl was like, people there think that they're free, but they're not.
Mhm.
And then another person was like, actually, no, I'm trans and I would lose, like, I don't know, half my rights just by leaving the country that I'm in right now. I mean, it was just on and on. And I know that those were hand selected man on the street interviews, but nonetheless, I think it was very eye opening to see so many people back to back going, no, thank you.
Yeah, obviously.
That place is a dump.
Yeah, the place is a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah. Speaking of dumpster fires, lots of brands. Listen,
Our dumpster fires right now.
so we were talking about like, what are we going to talk about this week? Not really feeling a pull in any certain direction based on both of us just having all the ailments.
Literally.
And I started looking at the news and I was like, God, all these brands are in the news, which I feel like doesn't happen. I mean, like everything trending on X or Twitter, on TikTok, it's something to do with we've got Bed Bath & Beyond, Cracker Barrel, Target, I mean, all of it. So I was like, why don't we just bitch about all these brands? Let's do it.
Absolutely.
We're going to start. We're going to start with the one that's trending right now today as we record. We're recording on Thursday, August 21st. This morning I woke up and Bed Bath & Beyond was trending. And I was like, wait, what? I thought they closed. So Bed Bath & Beyond, who, by the way, went bankrupt. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy due to a mix of long-term challenges and financial crises. Their sales began declining like around COVID. And
Mhm.
they started closing the stores since then, basically. Mostly, I'm sure, because there's a shift toward online shopping, but also, I mean, Bed Bath and Beyond, if you think about it relative to other places that you get items that you can get there, they're kind of pricey.
Mhm. Yeah.
That said, they are trending because I don't know who decided this was the PR move, but they are all over the internet attacking Gavin Newsom. And they're saying, the chairman of Bed Bath & Beyond is saying that they will not open any retail stores in California because of, quote, high taxes, high fees, and forced unsustainable wages.
I don't
I just
know.
want to go back to the fact that they were already bankrupt.
Right. I was like, I don't know, just maybe not the PR move that I would do if I had just filed for Chapter 11, but like, fine.
Yeah, I just don't know who was like, you know what we should do? We should attack Gavin Newsom and say that like California is bad and we're not going to go there. So I just this is a thing that their CEO, his name is Marcus Lemonis. He issued a statement that said this isn't about politics, it's about reality. California has created one of the most over-regulated, expensive, and risky environments for business in America. It's a system that makes it harder to employ people, harder to keep doors open, and harder to deliver value to customers.
Meanwhile, their CMO is just like doing lines in the bathroom trying to figure out a PR strategy to like mitigate this. He's like, well, maybe we could like flip it that in like, I don't know, maybe use AI to like make pictures of like
I just I
someone freaking out in their marketing department.
I mean, in some ways, I guess, Gavin Newsom is the hot thing trending right now. Everyone's talking about how he's interacting with Donald Trump. Every news outlet's talking about him. So latch on to his name recognition right now. Attack California, get your name back out there. But this is, if you guys aren't following the California press room, the California governor press room on X, they are the 2025 Kamala HQ. But
Right.
they tweeted, after their bankruptcy and closure of every store, like most Americans, we thought Bed Bath & Beyond no longer existed. But we wish them well in their efforts to become relevant again as they try to open a second store.
Incredible. But I think like one thing that's so a key like component of all of this is that yes, maybe their strategy was to get their name back out there on the heels of Gavin Newsom's, trendingness right now. But the reality is that if there's one thing that we have seen that liberals are incredibly good at, and one thing that we will like stand on business is that if there is a company that is supporting some dodgy shit, that is saying some fuck ass shit about a politician or funding, a right wing think tank, we will not shop there anymore.
Well,
They
and we weren't shopping there anyway.
well, yeah, we didn't
Nobody
know
was.
that they
That's
were
why they're
still a
bankrupt.
thing. I didn't know that they existed. Do you want to know what's in the Bed Bath and Beyond place right now in Peoria where there used to be one? A Spirit Halloween.
Same.
Okay,
I'm
so
pretty sure the Spirit Halloween is opening in Huntsville Hill, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Spirit was like, we got it, no worries.
You know what's also sad is when Bed Bath & Beyond here closed, they said that they were having a liquidation sale. So I went in
Mhm.
there thinking like, hell yeah, I'm about to rack up. Their liquidation sale was like 15% off of everything. I was like, guys, I don't think you're understanding the financial crisis that you're in.
Yeah,
You're
you need me more than I need you.
exactly, but 15% ain't gonna cut it. I didn't buy anything. I was like, I can get everything that's in this store cheaper at Walmart or Amazon, and it's all made by the same, five
Right.
manufacturers, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, speaking of a company that has been dealing certainly with the repercussions of their actions in terms of liberals not shopping there anymore, is Target.
They then fucked around and found all the way out.
Damn, that sucks, man.
Which is sad because like I'm pretty sure we were the ones who got on the Target train in the first place. But
Dude, oh my God, there was nothing that held me together last election season quite like a Friday morning in crispy October weather, Friday
truly,
morning trip. to fucking Target, man.
Get a
Oh
little
my
Starbucks,
god. Oh,
roll around the store,
incredible.
figure out what Joanna Gaines has put out this week.
100%, 100%. You know what? I will find somewhere else
Which,
to
by the
do
way,
that.
we stand the Gaines now. I've never really cared about them too much, but if you're going to stand up for the LGBTQIA, I'll stand up with you. Thank you.
Dude, I didn't really realize that they owned that like Magnolia home brand or whatever. I had never really paid attention because I guess I always kind of thought they were conservative. So I was like, yeah, no
Well,
thanks.
they're Texas.
And I checked out the Magnolia home like website the other day. They got some really cute shit on there. I was like,
She
okay.
has a new show that's out called Mini Renny, like mini renovations, and it's all stuff that is absolutely doable. You know, you watch renovation shows and you're like, okay, I'm not moving a wall in my house.
100%, yeah.
Everything that they do on this show is really just like paneling, paint, ways to
Mhm.
elevate a space without making it a crazy change. Check it out. But
I
that's kind of been at the forefront of what I watch at night now on TV, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad to learn you guys aren't awful.
Well, I'm gonna need to start watching that because Mallory, the other day in an ADHD induced spiral, I bought a DIY guide from somebody on TikTok. Yeah, no idea what happened there, but basically I was like watching this woman's DIY videos and I love a DIY vid. I love a renovation vid. Am I going to ever do it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It would be a really expensive hobby to try to start. And I just don't, I'm no, not trying to spend a ton of money on like a staple gun, you know? But by golly, I bought that $40 DIY kit and it's got 40 DIYs in there that you can do that are non demo related. So
Oh,
if you're ever
okay.
interested in looking at it,
Well, you know, I'm proud of myself. I think part of it was like the pressure of baby is coming, and we moved into this house, and
for
I was
sure.
like, we are going to do the things that I want to do before the baby gets here, or else they'll never get done. And this is also the first time I've lived in a place that I could paint in my
Mm.
ever.
Oh,
Outside of
wow.
living in my parents' house, I've only ever lived in rentals. We put up paneling. We didn't put this up, this came, but we put up paneling that looks like this in the hallway. We put up paneling in the nursery. We put up paneling in our
Nice.
bedroom, and they're all different. And I just kept being like, how hard can it be? Boys do it. But I actually did make boys do it. I made my husband and my dad do it. But it was my brainchild. I just kept being like, it can't be that difficult. Come on, guys, it's just wood.
I love that. I mean, and speaking of white men doing things, back to the Target situation.
Look
So,
at you. I was going to bring us back, but you did it. I'm proud
quick,
of you.
quick little segue. So, Target got a new CEO, which is kind of like where they've been highlighted in the news this week.
But they got the new CEO because Target decided to roll back their DEI policies.
Correct. And now they're
So they were like black
experiencing,
squaring it in 2020, and by 2025 they were like, yeah, fuck black people and the gays.
right. Yeah. And they replaced their white male CEO with a white male CEO. So
Pew, pew, pew,
I'm sure
pew.
that pew 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 pew. I'm sure that that will go extremely well. I'm really excited for them. Can't wait to see their results.
And
Hopefully Thor works out.
wasn't he just like the number two guy?
He was their chief operating officer and they bumped him up to CEO with
So
the
what
very
I'm
clear
hearing is that
intention
he was a part of making all of these decisions that got them in the hot water in the first place, and he's just being rewarded, so he's failing up.
upward, correct, which is what white men are best at. And so yeah, basically that's the plan, girl, is that they're bringing in this new CEO. His direct like quote plan is that they are going to increase their reach, they're going to increase store openings and sales. That is a whole part of the initiative of bringing in a new CEO.
But
So
I can't understand if they're operating, if they're experiencing the loss that they claim to have experienced this year alone. Shareholders can't be happy and can't be like, you know what you should do? Go open more stores.
well, yeah, there's that. And also it's like seems to me like there's a pretty clear solution to your problems, my guy, and it's to bring back DEI. Like, you know, and also maybe like hire someone a bit more diverse on your leadership team. But I don't know. That's just me, man.
Yeah, try
Can't be
everything but
that
the thing
simple.
that got you in hot water in the first place.
Literally. Yeah. Yeah. We'll just circle around it for a while.
I mean, yeah. Well, you know, none of us will be changing our shopping habits unless they demonstrate that they learned something from whatever this was. The capitulation to the Trump administration and everything that has transpired this year. No, thank you.
I love
I just did.
I love that word, capitulation. You said it last week too, and I was like, God, that's a fucking good
It is
word.
a good word, isn't it? I mean, it's not a
Oh,
good word when you
word.
consider what it means, but it's a good
For
word.
sure. Yeah, but it's a really good word. I just
It's a
really
good
like the
vocab word.
I like the phonetics of it.
Speaking of new CEOs, though, let's talk about Julie Fells Massino because she came into Cracker Barrel swinging, baby.
She said, "Hi y'all. Here we
So
go."
in addition today to Bed Bath and Beyond trending for attacking Gavin Newsom and Target for replacing their white man with another white man, Cracker Barrel has up and changed their logo and MAGA is triggered.
They are losing it.
They're going to start throwing away their biscuits and cornbread.
And they're calling her this tweet says, "Go woke, go broke. New DEI hire CEO is rebranding Cracker Barrel to decolonize it."
Just so we're aware, DEI hire is just she's just a woman.
She's just a woman.
A woman. And that should tell you everything you need to know about MAGA and conservative people. That anyone who's not a middle-aged white guy is a DEI hire.
We
But
ain't
all
even
that
gonna
to
let her
say,
vote.
they got rid of the old guy and the actual barrel, and it's just a yellow, it's an updated version of the background of the yellow on Cracker Barrel before, and I think they updated the font just a little bit. It's like slightly different than it was
Yeah,
before.
it's
It's not
slightly
anything
different
crazy.
font, different color, but yeah.
But I mean, it's a la Dunkin' Donuts going Dunkin'. It's not drastically different. It's just a little bit more modern, right?
Not like they're just calling it Cracker, which maybe they should.
But I think it's really interesting because Julie comes from, she was at Colhan, she was at Taco Bell for several years. She's been through Mattel, Starbucks, Sprinkles. Like this woman, this DEI hire, she's no idiot. And some
Yeah.
of these companies, especially Sprinkles, Taco Bell, went through major brand glow ups, brand explosions during the time that she was a part of their company. So she said that Cracker Barrel's core demographic has traditionally been an older. She didn't say that. So I think it's interesting. So Cracker Barrel's core demographic has traditionally been an older audience, and a significant portion of that audience is like 55 plus, and that's perfectly fine. I personally love Cracker Barrel. I think the food that you get for the price point, especially when you have kids, chef's kiss. But they are working to attract younger customers and particularly folks in our age range, millennials. So they're updating the menu, they offer alcohol now, and they're starting to like modernize the stores and rebrand them and do like renovations and stuff. And she said, she was on Good Morning America, and she said that when they like recently had a summit of all of their store owners and people who work at Cracker Barrel, they were all like, when do we get a remodel? We want it. We're excited about it. So for everybody who's bitching at the corporation, just know that the people who work there are also excited about the revitalization of the Cracker Barrel brand.
Right. I mean, and like, listen, a Cracker Barrel store, nothing gets me hype like a Cracker Barrel store.
Except for your Friday morning stroll around Target.
Except for
Are
that.
you
Yes, correct.
cosplaying a conservative white woman in the South on a weekly basis?
Surprise, I'm MAGA. No, I do stand a Cracker Barrel. Yeah,
I have friends who are on a mission to eat at a Cracker Barrel in every state slash every Cracker Barrel.
that's incredible.
It's kind of, yeah, I guess. Do
Yeah,
you remember when I was little, I loved going into their candy slash tour set, toy section.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have like the best selection, or at least when I was younger, they had like the best selection of like bottled root beer. And so they have like at the one that was near like in Davenport where I grew up, they had like this whole fridge of like different kinds of root beer that were in like the actual bottles, which I'm a root beer connoisseur.
I think
So
so
they had like
too.
Spreckers and like,
Disgusting.
yes. Oh, I love a root beer. You
Blech.
hate root beer?
Yeah.
My God, what?
Sarsaparilla? No thanks.
Girl, I love a sarsaparilla. I love that shit. I used to go on this like class trips to this place outside of the town where I grew up. And it was kind of like one of those old, like it was like a village that they had that was like almost westerny kind of, and like,
Like
they
a
basically
general
like
store situation.
yeah, like they basically like took all these little like buildings and made them into like old western stores, whatever. And I loved going on field trips there because I could always get a sarsaparilla or a root beer or whatever, and it was so good. And like some candy cigs. I love a candy cig.
That's a love
Unfortunately,
it
I also
too.
grew to really love regular
Real
cigs.
cigs. Same.
You know that part in have you ever watched Dead to Me?
Yes.
You know that part where she's like, if I knew I was gonna die soon, the first thing that I would do
It
is
starts
start smoking again. I'm like, honestly, same, fully same. I would hit up a pack of Marlboro Lights immediately. Anyway, but yeah,
That's funny. Okay, so Cracker Barrel rebrand Maga's Mad. I'll be there. I love Cracker Barrel. We go
we
there all
have.
the time. I love me
Should we?
I love me a pecan pancake for Cracker Barrel. And their syrup, syrup.
So should we save our star brand for last, and we'll talk about our last shitty brand first?
Which one's which?
So we'll talk about Gap last because they're kind of a shining star right now.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so again, speaking of like white men who are fucking losers,
Ruining the brand's reputation.
let's talk about Elf and Matt Rife. So,
Well, you brought it up. Actually, technically, I brought it up last
oh my
week.
God, last time, ew, I'm so embarrassed that I fucking brought an Elf product on by, but then did proceed to tell everybody not to buy it. So there you go.
And you're like, this
Anyway,
is a product I love, but don't buy it.
no, buy it.
Not
Literally
until they
full stop.
apologize. Did they apologize?
So, yes, they released a statement today. As of Thursday, August 21st, they released a statement, please. So, their CEO, I believe, let me mark. So, their CMO also released a statement. They released a statement on their Instagram, on their stories, that was kind of like just a general statement about the entire thing, how they were sorry, they didn't mean to upset people, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
Their
wait,
C
should we give people some context? I don't even think we actually did that on the show.
Yeah, I don't think we did. So essentially, Elf released a new campaign that featured Matt Rife, who is a comedian that has been sufficiently canceled within the last calendar year. Matt Rife, in his very awful Netflix special, which was truly painful to watch. I watched it for research purposes because it was like everybody online. It was one of those things where I felt excluded because everybody online was talking about it. And I was like, I
Mhm.
have to watch this. So in his Netflix special, Matt Rife makes a joke about how he's out to dinner with a friend. Their waitress had a black eye, and his friend made a comment about how the waitress should go work in the back. And then he tied it into like a DV reference and basically made a joke about domestic violence. Okay. Obviously, he was like sort of canceled prior to that. People were like, this guy sucks. He's really not even funny.
Well,
They weren't really
he's really known for his like crowd work videos.
crowd work, right?
So
Which is like,
his crowd work has typically been pretty funny. I mean, his
yeah,
like off the cuff ability to riff with people,
yes,
okay.
yeah,
And generally speaking, he keeps it pretty standard
yeah. I would
his
say
written stuff, which is worse because you're like, that's not even just what came out of your brain. You thought about it, wrote it, tested it, did it in front of audiences, and still thought it was a good idea to put on.
and someone approved it. Somebody at Netflix was like, "Mm-hmm, go
Mhm.
ahead, green light it." So that I think is also like, yeah, just I mean, crowd work is an essential component of any stand-up's career, but and the ability to do it well, I think is a very unique talent. Like not a lot of people can do crowd work well. So I think when people saw him doing it and were like, "Oh shit, this guy's funny." Like that really was how he gained his following was by all of those crowd
Yeah,
work
it was
videos.
very social media driven.
Yeah, exactly. So then he gains a huge following, whatever, he gets this Netflix special. There had been numerous instances prior to the Netflix special where people were like, this is a little like he did kind of test the waters, I think, with like racial jokes, things like that. So he does this ad for Elf, and he, in the ad, says something to the effect of like, I know a thing or two about red flags, and then leads into a comment about how Elf thinks a red flag is like paying too much for beauty products. Elf has been unanimously like the most loved beauty brand of the last 5 years because of their affordability, because of their product quality. They are revered in the beauty industry as being very inclusive. Their shade ranges are always pretty spot on. They are, they have, yeah, always just been a brand that people, I think, associated with inclusivity, associated with like not having like a moral dilemma. I think
Yeah,
there
and
hadn't
also
really
just like caring about their consumer. Like they keep their
Yeah,
prices
yeah,
down, their offerings are
exactly.
wide. Yeah.
Exactly. Until recently, like obviously this campaign came out. Prior to this campaign, a few weeks before, they released a their most expensive product yet, which was an $18 skin tint, and it kind of like sent the internet into a little bit of a frenzy because people were like, okay, you're supposed to be the brand of affordability. Now you're charging what higher end brands do charge for these products. So there was kind of they were already sort of like on the heels of that, and then they have this Matt Rife ad come out. People were like, "You had so many options for people that you could have included in this ad." Truly, I'm just saying,
Literally anyone.
in a world where we have Pedro Pascal and Tom Hanks, you're gonna put Matt like absolutely not, absolutely
But
not.
I'm still not even understanding like what was the reasoning behind not that a man doesn't wear makeup or any of those
For
reasons,
sure.
but just like if you're gonna go non-traditional for a spokesperson for an ad, I just don't think Matt Rife would have been anywhere on my radar.
Absolutely not. I mean, and I think maybe the joke was that like Matt Rife has clearly had plastic surgery. Like he has had treatments that have improved his appearance, like there, or has, I don't find him attractive, but that's neither here nor there, has tried to improve his appearance via cosmetic procedures. Maybe that was the riff, is kind of like my guess, is that I don't know, like their angle was that he's involved in the beauty industry sort of from a pseudo like lens. I don't know. It's fucking bizarre. And truly what I think people are now so up in arms about is that we thought this brand really understood the audience they were speaking to. We thought this brand really understood their consumer. And now we're kind of like, do you though? Like, what's kind of the deal here?
Yeah, like what
Um,
how did this even get this far?
yeah, and their CMO had a really interesting quote that he said. His statement was also released today, and he told the Business of Beauty that they were, quote, very surprised to see the online backlash, adding, quote, there is a big gap between our intention and how this missed the mark for some people. We always aim to deliver positivity, and this one didn't. So we find ourselves in a position where, quite honestly, that doesn't feel good for us. And my like reply to this is that like how were you very surprised when you are a brand that claims to know your core demographic incredibly well, you listen to your core audience incredibly well when you are doing product creation, so like the marketing should be no different. Yeah, I guess I'm just
And
completely
how was there
confused.
no one in any room where this was being discussed?
Exactly.
We go back to this all the time. Well, not all the time, but when we
Who
were talking,
greenlights this shit?
yeah, like there. The thing is, it's not even who. It's a it's a long list of people that greenlight
Yeah,
these things, and
exactly.
for you to have no one on your team who said, I think that this, speaking of red flags, this
Yeah.
guy is a red flag for our company. This should not go through. Or we need to think about every single possible rebuttal to this that we're going to get and be ready for the backlash or know that this is what we're willing to risk in order to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm just always
Yeah.
so skeptical when a brand misses the mark so much.
Mhm.
I'm just like, who is sitting in your rooms? And whoever they are, you need to diversify them because, and this is why DEI, which is just diversity, DEI is so important because then you like it protects companies. Like people
Right.
talk about DEI being woke. No, DEI is your best protection against risk like this, against negative PR, backlash, against your company losing billions of dollars a la Target because you do some dumb shit
Yeah, and I mean,
completely avoidably.
respectfully, if their CMO was a woman, there is absolutely no fucking way, no fucking chance that this would have ever been greenlit for any kind of dispersion. Like, there's no way that this would have ever made it out of a conference room. And that is because, again, that diversity element, it matters deeply for every single brand. But I would say potentially even more so for brands that are immersed within the beauty space, within sort of like, where your core demographic is a woman who is between the ages of 18 and 40. Like that is insane material. And who you're speaking
Especially
to.
in the age of the internet choosing the bear.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And what's also interesting too is that like Elf seems to have a core demographic of people who are, and this is just simply, I'm speculating here, but Elf seems to have a core demographic of people who are predominantly liberal, I would say. Like that I feel like tracks because, Elf has been longstanding in the beauty community for their commitment to being vegan and cruelty free. That has always been a core pillar of theirs in every product development that they've done. They have always been a brand that has been really devoted to innovation, and that has been very evidenced in the last several launches that they've done. They have been wildly successful, sans this last sort of skin tint
Mhm.
situation. So I think like, those things matter to a group of people that is like predominantly a liberal consumer. So it's really interesting to me how this even got out of a
Yeah.
conference room. Yeah.
Well, speaking of other things that we've already discussed, but we're going to come back to that left a conference room, Sydney Sweeney and her Good Genes campaign. Gap said, "Hold our beer."
My
You know,
favorite.
you know that the people who knew that this campaign was coming out were like, "Oh, this was perfect. Thank you so much."
Absolutely.
So also trending today, which is just crazy. I just can't. I'm blown away that I woke up and not everything trending had to do with the orange tits, orange taco tits. But yeah, so trending again today is Gap with Cat's Eye, which I feel so old. I had to look up who the fuck is Cat's Eye.
Aren't they like a K-pop or no, no, hang on.
They're
No.
not K-pop. They are quite diverse. They're a girl group. They have millions and millions and millions of subscribers on YouTube, as I found out today. No idea who they are.
No clue who they are.
But Gap recruited the global girl group Cat's Eye to kick off the next phase of its comeback tour. That's what they're calling it. Gap is having a comeback tour for their fall 2025 campaign, and it's called Better in Denim, which revives music and fashion from the early 2000s. Like, no complaints here on any of that. No complaints at all. The video, the commercial that they released is very a la early 2000s.
Mhm.
It's like dance and baggy jeans
It
and
reminds me of that like the iPod commercials they used to do where it was
yes.
like the shadow of like the figure like,
Yeah.
that jerk it out song or whatever.
Yeah, it's like somewhere between Spice Girls and an iPod commercial
Yeah.
and like Britney, I don't know. But it's a 90-second commercial and it, is dance. And they've got Gen Z stars that they're using for other campaigns as well right now. Or it's like this campaign, but other ads. So very, very different vibe from Sydney Sweeney's Good Genes. And I just, they've had this planned. Obviously, this commercial's been shot. This has been in the works for a minute and I just laugh. I'm like, God, their company was like, thank you
Timing was
so much
impeccable.
for all this
Yeah.
negative publicity because the counter of this will be great. And we'll see.
Yeah.
When's the
I
last
mean,
time you went in the Gap?
incredible timing, but I will just tell you that Gap is their comeback tour. Yeah, absolutely. I've been looking at some of their shit online lately and my God, they have some adorable stuff that has gone up. They also, not for nothing, I owned a pair of Gap jeans back in God, I was probably like 17. And it was the first like pair of jeans outside of buckle jeans that I had spent like a good amount of money on.
They used
I
to be
was
like 68.99,
Yeah, I
which
was
means
like,
now they're like 135.
right. I was like
I
trying to
actually
like
don't know.
I was trying to like grow up, and just sort of have a good pair of like boot cut jeans.
Hmm.
And girl, I love those jeans. Oh my God, they lasted me forever until I eventually did no longer fit in them. And they were some of the best jeans ever. Like I just loved them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gap denim. I shop at thrift stores all the time. We've talked about this. We
Mhm.
shop secondhand. Anytime that I'm in a thrift store or a secondhand store, the labels that I'm looking for, Gap is always one of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Excuse me. Gap, Madewell, those are the types of jeans that'll just last you your whole life. But I laugh because I would say like fourth, fifth grade me, I was really into Gap at that point, had a whole line of like leather and pleather stuff. And so I had black leather pants from Gap. I had red leather pants, like a maroon color. Actually, it's like pretty furious color. I had this color pants, and then I had skirts. I was just,
Gorge.
yeah. But
They have some really cute sets right now that honestly might be solid for like a maternity situation for like
yeah,
breastfeeding and whatnot. So yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
might
have
have
to
to
look.
get our hands on some Gap stuff.
Gap, you caught our eye.
You've caught our eye, Gap.
Those of us who are wanting to live in the nostalgia of fifth grade, me, I'm gonna go check out what you got going on. You know who else has something that should catch people's eye?
We do.
We do.
Yay. So wait, hang on. I was going to show you this. So I was going to wear my Pretty Furious sweatshirt on the show today. And then, oh, I think it's mostly dry by now, but you can kind of see where it was still. So I got makeup on it and like right when I was putting it on, and I was like, damn it. So I didn't get to wear it, but look at how cute this is. It has a little Pretty Furious on it. Mallory, show us yours.
Comfort
This
colors
is a
tea.
comfort colors only in this house. We do not wear anything but comfort colors.
We do offer another tea that's not comfort colors, but I personally only want to wear comfort colors.
Comfort colors, and then I will also go for a Bella canvas when offered. But comfort colors were huge stands of theirs. It's a very southern thing to wear comfort colors. All of my sorority t-shirts are comfort colors. They're incredibly comfortable. But we have hats, we have sweatshirts, we have shirts, we have coffee mugs,
Mugs.
we have
We have koozies.
koozies, we have bags,
Magnets.
magnets, we have everything, and it's launched. Will be launched by now. By the time this episode comes out,
Yeah, we're live. Prettyfuriouspod.com. You can find all of our merch. We would love for you to. You know what's really funny? And then I'll get off of our merch. I had this hat on. I went to physical therapy, had this hat on, and the girl that was checking me in physical therapy was like, "That is such a cute hat. I love that. Where did you get that?" And I was like, "Thanks. It's actually my
oh,
podcast,
it's my
and you
podcast.
can buy it online." So even if people have no idea what our podcast is,
I
they
love
like our
that.
merch.
I love that. Yes, and we're gonna have some more merch coming with like some fun quotes and such. So
Lit.
lit.
We already have a lit one, actually.
Yeah, lit is already live. Yeah.
That is live. All right. Well, hopefully we don't do anything to ruin the reputation of our very small but mighty brand.
Here's hoping, man. If it's anyone, it'll be me. All right.
I
We'll
don't
see.
know. Who
Can't
knows?
keep my fucking
Oh
mouth shut.
man. As per
Okay.
usual. I feel like we need a exit. Hold on. But it was fun bitching about brands with you today.
I loved it. I loved every moment of it. I think we should do more brand bitching episodes. I feel like I have a slew that I could talk about, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, our most listened to episode so far was the
Is
Skinny
about a brand?
Confidential. Is
Yeah, I
Pretty
was gonna say.
Furious turning into a brand bashing? No, no, no.
Honestly, I'm here for it. I feel like part of the community that we are trying to foster is people who are aware, they have the information that they need to make conscious decisions about places they want to shop. Part of that is understanding like where brands fuck up and what they do to remedy the situation when they do fuck up. We're looking at you, American Eagle. Yeah, I mean, like part of being an informed consumer is knowing what brands are doing when they offend their customer base.
It is what it is. All right, until next time.